Sasha, what have you learned about how to be a good ally?
Yeah, so when all of this began, I didn't have any sort of personal experience with sexual assault, sexual violence at all. Nobody in my life had ever told me about their experiences either, but I would later find out that there were literally dozens of young men and women in my life who had been going through that on their own. So I wasn't, there was like, it was really like, I had a choice that I was going to make about how I would respond to it. And I guess at the end of the day, I just asked myself, like, forget what I might end up losing, like, forget the friends who might not like it, forget, the time that it's going to take. Am I going to be able to look at myself at the end of the day and be like, I did enough? Not even like I did the most that anyone could, but I did enough to help these people. And I guess what I've learned about being an ally, a lot of times it's just taking the initiative and like having the uncomfortable conversation by just reaching out. One thing that I've learned from this process, specifically with talking with these young men and women, is a lot of times there isn't the right thing to say. There isn't something that you can say to make them feel better or move on like instantly. It really is just about listening. Like if somebody says like, oh, I'm really depressed right now, I can't get out of bed. You don't, like, one thing that I used to do a lot was be like, oh, like, I know you can do this, get out of bed, take a shower, like, seize the day. But sometimes you just have to be like, why can't you get out of bed? Like, let's just talk about it. Really, like, because just giving them a space where they can just process what happened. So what I've learned about being an ally is taking supportiveness to like a really radical level, because if you think it's difficult to speak up in support of these people, imagine how difficult it is for them to be going through all that they are. It really makes all the difference. So yeah.
In a broader sense then, what are ways that people in the entire community can help survivors with their path on recovery?
For me personally, it is like sort of like a religious, philosophical thing that I was contemplating, like especially in like Catholic culture and Jesuit culture. The concept is that you want to make yourself a man for others, a woman for others, a person for others. So the whole attitude of like, oh, this isn't my problem, I don't need to be involved with this, like I shouldn't be involved with this, that's their problem, not mine. That's just something that I think we all need to turn around. You are your brother's keeper, you're your sister's keeper, you're your friend's keeper. If they're hurting, that's a concern to everyone in the community. At least it should be. And I've met so many just like really surprising characters throughout this process who have reached out to me privately and said like, oh, I love what you're doing, thank you so much, like that's great. And I can tell it really comes from the heart, and it like keeps me going to just get those messages. But if you really want to make a difference, if you want to help the survivors in a tangible, lasting way, I think what we all need to do is ask ourselves, why am I not speaking up publicly? Why am I not calling out my friends when they're making jokes or brushing it off as something that isn't serious? And, if to the people who have really broke the silence, broke the norms, and just posted on social media for all of their friends to react to the people who call out their friends, that's making a serious difference, because not every survivor is going to be in a place to let a stranger into their life and, you know, you're not going to be everyone's therapist, everyone's best friend, but you can be a supporter and you can make a difference. And by being silent, that is a lost opportunity to help someone in need. So speak up. There are dozens of people who've come forward. If sexual assault doesn't feel like a personal issue, it should, because it is. So speak up.